Welcome to Week of Personal Finance at the University of Houston. We should be streaming live on Facebook and YouTube now. The Zoom meeting is open. Looks like we're currently experiencing a slight technical difficulty. It looks like we're mirroring our camera. Let me see if I can fix that. Zoom, preferences, video, mirror, there we go. That should fix it. Now let me jump in here and see if I can. Sorry about that. I am working on a little tweak. Let's see how that looks in Zoom. Okay, so now I'm facing that way and we have a good screen. So let's see, we've got some folks waiting to get in. Let me admit everybody's in. Okay, welcome everyone who just joined me on Zoom, and welcome to everyone who's watching live on Facebook, YouTube. Should be streaming live. It looks like we have a good solid signal, so welcome. This is Personal Finance at the Bauer College of Business, University of Houston. I'm hoping you can hear me. If anybody could just put something in the chat. Ray, Gunner, good to see you. To unmute yourself, just put a chat answer in if you would. Yes, you can hear me. Awesome. Okay, man, we're wrapping it up. So I think I should wait just a minute. I'm going to assume, though, because the trend seems to be that most of the students are actually watching this video, this Zoom meeting, which is great. So let me just kind of set the table for what we're going to do this morning. To wrapping up, I want to kind of announce that this assignment, the capstone assignment, it's typically worth 200 points. I'm adding 50 points. So if you video, you will miss that. Hopefully you'll see it in Blackboard though. So I promised a few students who were struggling in this summer session, struggling to keep up with the pace. I told them early on I would give them some opportunity for extra credit. What I've decided to do in this capstone assignment is just add 50 points. That's basically the equivalent of one weekly assignment. So I'm adding 50 points, struggling to keep up, an opportunity to earn a few extra points. I'll talk about how you can earn those points in this assignment in this session. But first, let me just mention that last week, if you noticed, your assignment included 100 points, which is essentially extra credit. So for those of you who are not struggling to keep up, you are doing a great job, probably primarily because you're taking advantage of the opportunity to turn the assignment in early, therefore getting extra points and some feedback in the event that you missed something. So for those of you who are thinking about taking this course next semester and you're watching this capstone review video, it's one of the big kind of carrots in this course is that I ask you to commit to turning your assignments in on Friday. They're actually due on Tuesday. So if you turn them in on Friday before Tuesday, that gives me a chance to spend more time reviewing the assignment, giving you feedback, and it gives you more time to make corrections and still get the extra points. So again, for the A students who are with us, who have done that this semester, you should be in really good shape, and you are still going to get the benefit of the extra points that we're throwing on the capstone, simply because this is summer school, and I've discovered that it's pretty challenging for you to keep up. I'm not sure I'll do this in the summer again. It's just too much for a summer course to cram it in. But at any rate, we've gotten this far, so I want to do everything I can do to help you get your A, because I know how important it is to you to have an A. It's not important to me. What's important to me is that you learn some of the basic elements of personal finance, and that's why we've spent the entire semester building your financial plan. And this assignment, the capstone assignment, is where it all comes together, where you get to go through your financial plan and each of the components, each of the elements that you've built into your plan throughout the semester. And in the capstone assignment, most of you won't have to do anything except go back and review each of the data cards that are in your plan. So that's what I'm going to do in this assignment, or this review, this Zoom session, is I'm going to go through a plan. I'm going to pick a plan, just go through it and show you exactly what I'm looking for when I review your capstone assignment. So that's what we're going to do today. It's 10:06 a.m. Let's roll. So first of all, there are 4 goals in this capstone assignment, and this will be reflected in your Blackboard assignment, so you don't have to take notes here. It will be in Blackboard. Again, 250 points. Instead of 200 points, I'm adding an extra 50 points just to help the students who have been struggling. I appreciate your work. I really do. I appreciate the effort you've put in. I certainly appreciate the fact that many of you are working and trying to do this course in addition to your work. And that's one thing I never did in college was take summer school. I always worked, tried to catch up on my bills in the summertime. I paid for my own college. So I felt the weight of earning my grade and earning a paycheck at the same time all through college. And I got married and had a baby. And so when you tell me that you work and you didn't, that really gets my attention, and I appreciate that. I think it's so bottom line is, your grade is not nearly as important to me as it is to you, but because it's important to you, I want to do everything I can to help you get a good grade. But what is important to me, what's most important to me, the reason I do this course is because I believe you can learn what you need to learn about personal finance and managing money in a very short period of time if you go through the steps that we do throughout this course. Each assignment in this course is connected to the big goal. And the big goal, as you know, is to become a millionaire by the time you're 50. So we create a financial plan, a comprehensive financial plan, so that you can experience each of the elements that are involved in a financial plan. And so that's what we're going to review today. That's what your capstone is all about. I don't expect you to be an expert at this point, but what I do hope is that you can begin to think like a CFP. What does that mean? To think like a CFP. So I'm a certified financial planner. It's a lot of work to get to the point where you're an actual certified financial planner, but it's not as much work to get to the point where you can think like a certified financial planner. And that's one of my goals in this course, is to help you begin to think like a certified financial planner, to think for yourself in terms of the decisions that you make in the context of your financial life. So the context of your financial life, the context of this capstone assignment, the context of your financial plan is not just this semester. This semester is really irrelevant in terms of your financial future for the most part. There are some things you can start to do today, but what this capstone helps you do is think through some of the things you can do when you get your job after you graduate, how you can set up your budget and how you can set up your financial plan in a systematic way so that you take advantage of things like the perfect investment, which we've gone over a couple of times, and the 4 investment strategies that are designed to maximize returns and minimize risk. You can start doing that as soon as you get that job on day 1 when you sign up for your 401k, the perfect investment with 4 investment strategies designed to help you maximize returns and minimize risk at the same time. These strategies work. And so with these strategies in your mind, in your head, understanding asset allocation just a little bit, the difference between a large cap, a small cap, a mid cap, a bond, these are things you're going to have to digest and learn over time. So we're planting seeds today. In your capstone assignment, as you go back and complete this assignment, you'll be reviewing everything we covered in the semester and you'll get an opportunity to just fertilize those seeds. Again, I don't expect you to be an expert. As you'll see when we review the plan, I'm not looking for your capstone assignment to demonstrate that you're a perfect financial planner. There's no such thing as a perfect financial plan. There's tons of wiggle room. What I'm looking for, what I need you to help me see, is that you get it, that you understand. And so when we go through, when you do your capstone assignment, you're going to define and describe the essential elements of your plan. You're just going to give me a couple comments over each of the data cards that you've built. Things that you've done already, things like the Credit Crush assignment, where you went in and said, hey, if I pay this high interest loan off first, how does it move the needle in my plan? You're just going to say, hey, yeah, you just copy and paste if you already did it. But if you didn't do it, if you didn't get it, if you had trouble with it, please take a minute, go back and spend a minute on each element of your financial plan. The Credit Crush part was probably, next to investments, it's one of the most important and popular and interesting and eye-opening pieces of this process. So that's just one example. So you're going to do that. You're just going to give me a little feedback. It doesn't have to be a book, just a paragraph that says, hey, this is a picture of my plan, a screenshot. Here's what I did. Here's what I learned. Boom, go on to the next one. So create a capstone report to illustrate your financial plan. You'll do that throughout as you give me little snapshots of each of the elements, each of the data cards, just like you've already done. So here's something that I've added, though. Number 4 is demonstrate your understanding of cash flows in your plan. And here's what I mean by that. 3 things that you're going to want to do to demonstrate to me that you understand what's going on in your plan in terms of the cash flows. So when I review your plan, when I review my own plans that I'm building for clients, it's never done until I can confirm in the cash flow section what that plan has going on in the background. So I'm going to show you that in just a minute in a plan, but I wanted to just mention it. So we're looking for detailed expenses, pre-retirement, detailed, not just a number. Many of you, I didn't deduct points, but you need a detailed expense built into your plan. I'll show you that in a minute. Investment distributions, again, that's part of your cash flow. I want to see that you understand where is the money coming from. Many of you, when you do your retirement probability analysis, it shows that you've got $20 million in at the end of the plan. Well, that's not great, especially if you don't understand it. So you got to jump into your cash flows, and I'll show you how to do that, just to see where's all that money coming from at the end of the plan, now that you tweaked a few things and you have this huge amount of money at the end of your plan. Doesn't mean I'm going to deduct you for it. It just means I want you to know what's going on in your plan that's producing that surplus. And you won't know that if you don't jump into your cash flow and see where that money's coming from. So the detailed expense, the investment distribution, and then other inflows and outflows that are impacting your probability of success. So again, there's no right. I want your plan to not be a failing plan. When you do your capstone, if your plan absolutely fails, you need to go back to the drawing board and do a little work on it, because your capstone assignment is a reflection of 25 years or so. So actually more than that. The plan that I'm looking for in your capstone is, how are you going to retire with dignity? Like, what does that look like in your life? And to do that, you're going to have some expenses, and these are all based on guesswork. So there's no right answer, but your guesswork has to be more accurate than some of your guesswork is. And when I say guesswork, I mean, how much are you going to be spending on internet and taxes and insurance and shopping and food and rent or mortgage and taxes, if I already said taxes. So all of those things that are built into your detailed expense, those are things that make a huge difference moving forward 25, 30, 40 years. And so I want you to do a little research and make sure you understand the cost of living, and that's part of your plan. And so when you go look at your plan and you see inflows and outflows that are just inaccurate, I want you to identify those and just explain them a little bit. So that's about it. Let's see what else we have. So again, the essential elements, you're going to have a balance sheet. And again, this is all in Blackboard, so you don't need to, and I'm not going to spend time going over it. But this is, I've already done a review video to kind of give you a heads up preview of what's in this capstone assignment. So I'm just scrolling through the elements in your capstone assignment and the report that you're going to submit to me. So then the final element, I'll just mention that I've asked you in the past, early in this semester, what's your definition of a financial plan? So this week, as you complete the course, as you finish your capstone, this is where I'm going to ask you again to give me your definition. What do you think? How would you explain what is a financial plan? You've got a little more experience now, you've done some work, you've built your capstone, you've built your financial plan using our powerful online planning portal. And so now that you've seen the elements and the components and how it all fits together, tell me, what's your definition? What do you think? How would you describe a financial plan? Is it something you want to have? Is a financial plan, now that you have a different understanding of what it is a financial plan something that can help anyone who wants to do a better job managing money? I think it is. I hope you do too. But I just want you to give me a little reflection on what you've learned this semester in the context of what is a financial plan. So that's the final piece. So now I'm going to jump over into a plan. I think I'm in Billy's plan. Let's see. So you can see here that Billy's plan has a high probability of success, 91%, but he also has $21 million at the end of the plan, which is a ridiculous number. So something's not right in Billy's plan. So let's just start with, we're in the retirement analysis, okay? So you know how to get there, and we're in the analysis. So let's just first jump over to cash flows and see what we see. I'm not sure, I've just been playing with this plan. I haven't memorized it by any means. So total inflows, if you see that, total inflows, that's income, or it's probably income. Let's click on total inflows. That's not a hyperlink. So 172 grand with expenses of 125. So let's start there. Total outflows 168. What if we go to net worth? What do we have? So Billy's plan is growing net worth. That's good, but it looks like he's growing it really more than is reasonable. So let's look at the expenses. Well, first let's go to the analysis and let's just see what Billy did to change. Remember, when you scroll down on the analysis, these action items, this is really the powerful engine of, if there's one place in your financial plan where you get to just push a lot of levers and dials and see how it moves the needle, this is where you want to do that. So this is a cool part to do that, a cool place to do that. So in Billy's case, pre-retirement living expenses. So his current plan shows $7,500, but Billy must have come in here and tweaked it. So let's just see what happens. Oh, and look at that retirement age. Whoa, 73. Do you think Billy and Sally really want to retire at 73? So if I'm reviewing this plan, I'm going to be like, make sure, Billy, if this is your capstone assignment, you better dadgum tell me why in the world you guys are thinking about retiring at 73. Otherwise, what I'm going to think is, you just came in here and started moving things around until you got a good number and you said you're good to go. And I'm like, yeah, but you missed the whole point of understanding what the plan can help you think through in terms of your life and your decisions and your choices. And when you retire is obviously a really big choice. So I think Billy must have been playing around with this. Let's just go tweak that and see what happens. So instead of 73, let's go to, come on, my iPad is not giving me the kind of responsiveness that I need. So I just changed it to 67. So now I'm going to hit refresh. Let's see what that does to the plan. It goes from 91% to 91%. It didn't really change anything. Oh, because I changed the expenses at the same time. So let's put the expenses back where, I'll put them at $7,000. I think that's what they were before. So I'm just doing the same thing you're going to do in your plan, and you're playing around with your plan. So, oh, and here's another thing. I'm going to use current allocation. So basically, I'm going in Billy's plan, and I'm going to say, okay, this is what he had set up at the beginning, I believe. This is what Billy's plan was before Billy went in and tried to juice the numbers, if you will. So yeah, now you see Billy has a 1% probability of success. And what did he change? He changed the current allocation. So he probably changed, let's go back to the current strategy on Social Security. So these are all of the elements in your retirement plan, in your retirement analysis, that will move the needle in your outcome in the end of your plan. So this is a great place to go in and tweak things. So if I saw this plan at 1% probability of success, I'd be like, wow, Billy, I think you did a good job. This is the reality. Your current allocation is probably pretty, I don't even know. We could go in, you know how to go in and look at the investment allocation and see what he has. We could go into the investment and we could say, okay, it's moderate. So the current plan is moderate, and we could move that. We could change to, let's change it to growth and see what happens. Then we could go back to the retirement analysis and see what that does, or we could just go to the retirement and the analysis. This is the way I would do it. This is the way I would encourage you to do it. And just go down to the action items and say, let's go from the current to growth, and let's just see what that one thing does. And that's hopefully going to give us a better probability of success. It does. It gives us a 67% probability of success. So that's asset allocation. We also have tax allocation, which is something you're going to look at, and that really tends to move the needle on distributions, making your distributions more tax efficient, which, trust me, it makes a difference in terms of your cash flows. But I just wanted to kind of highlight this screen, this page, the central engine of your financial plan where you can do the most damage. Actually, this is where you can do the most helpful kind of pushing buttons and moving levers to see how it moves the needle. And this is where I want you to just kind of make sure you're comfortable putting some information in. Now, I want to point out again expenses. So if we go, I think we don't, two things. Your budget. Now, I didn't require you to link your accounts, but you do need to show me a budget. So whatever number you're going to have in your financial plan in terms of expenses, those expenses, that one number that is your total annual expenses, that should be based on a budget. That should be based on a detailed list of expenses and expense categories. So one way to do that is, if you're in this plan, it's a super cool tool. It's linking your credit cards so that the software takes each of the transactions and creates a cash flow for you. It's to the penny. It's fantastic. So if you've ever heard of Mint.com, this is the same technology with the same bank level encryption and security. But again, I didn't require you to do that because I know some students feel like they don't want to, they're afraid of, data breaches and whatnot. And so I don't want to poo-poo that fear, but I'm telling you, this is bank level encryption. It's like Mint.com, and it's a powerful, powerful tool for budgeting. But if you didn't do that, if you choose not to do that, you need to do that yourself. Whether you're using Mint.com or the app that you bank, it could be a Bank of America, Wells Fargo, that data gives you your, last month's spending. The problem with last month's spending for you is it's going to be very different from your spending in 5 years. And so what I am requiring is not so much that you give me an accurate reflection of your current cash flows. You need that, and you need to show me that, but that's not what's going to really impact your plan. So let me show you what we're going to do to impact your plan. When I go to Profile and I go to Expenses, you see here monthly expenses for Billy. When I tap on that, Billy has currently a simple approach, and he's just put that number in. And what I need Billy to do, what I need you to do, pay attention, this is important. If you're going to get the extra 50 points, you got to do this. This is one of those elements that you have to do. You have to give me a detailed worksheet of your expenses. So that shows your expense categories, and you can add categories in your plan, but you need to show me a good list of all of the expense categories that are part of real life cost of living. Things like rent, mortgage, taxes, insurance, gasoline, dining out, internet, all of that. The more accurate, the less likely you'll get a deduction. So if I jump into your plan, like Billy's plan, and I see when I go to retirement, if I see that you've got 100% probability of success with $50 million or $20 million left over at the end of the plan, the first thing I'm going to do is jump into your expenses. And I'm going to be looking to see what was your detailed list. Did you miss some big things and clearly just not get the cash flow, the importance of cash flow in your plan? So that's to get the 50 extra points. You're going to have to prove to me that you understand what's going on in your plan with respect to cash flow. And it starts with your expenses. So if you get that right, you should be good. Okay, I just found out okay, I got a little error flash up, but I think it was a local error. Hopefully we're still streaming. So at any rate, expenses are critical. So again, cash flows, jump into cash flows. There's a couple of ways you can look at cash flows. One is just a summary. That's a great way to do it, where it shows each of these columns that will give you plenty of information for your plan, and you can jump in and dive a little deeper if you're curious. But you can see in this plan, Billy's his net flows. You see his net flows, but I like to go to net worth and see how that's going, and you'll see that net worth is all the way to the right. No, all the way to the right, yeah. All the way over to the right, you can see what the net worth is. And it looks like lots of loans in Billy's plan that haven't been paid off. So go back to analysis. I thought he had an excess at the end. It says he has an excess. So I would have to jump into this cash flow and figure out, okay, he's got an excess. Why is that? That's what I want you to do in your plan. Where's that excess $10 million? Where is that? So do that for the extra 50 points. If you're Billy, you're not Billy. I created this plan just for show and tell, and I'm not going to spend any time jumping into it right now. I'm just showing you what I'm looking for when I review your capstone. So I could go into your plan directly and start to figure things out, but I typically won't have time to do that. Speaking of timing, I want to talk about timing as we wrap this up. So this assignment, the capstone assignment, is going to be posted in Blackboard today, but its due date is 2 weeks. So we will have a 2-week due date on this assignment. The reason that's important to me is because I'm going on vacation at the end of, well, actually not at the end of the week, Thursday morning. I'm going to get in my Lexus with my beautiful bride, Connie and I, and we're going to do something we love to do, which is drive. We're going to drive to Kentucky, where we will meet our family from Michigan and our family in Kentucky. We will be at the lake at Barren River Reservoir in Bowling Green, near Bowling Green, Kentucky. So I'm super excited about that, and I will not be, well, I'll be checking my email and obviously my phone, but I'm not going to be getting back to too many people while I'm at the lake. So beware. You will get, I'll be back in my office a week from this Friday. So when I'm back in my office, I'm hoping that that Friday that I'm back in the office, I'll be able to jump in the queue, and if you did your assignment early, then I'll be able to give you some feedback. If you're missing something or if there's a deduction, I will deduct the points, leave you some comments about what you need to fix, and you'll have another week to fix it. Now, if you don't turn your assignment in by Friday next week, not this Friday. This Friday, I'm not even going to be looking at my queue. So you'll have, typically, you get the extra points by turning it in Friday, which is a few days earlier than Tuesday. But this week, this assignment, it's got a 2-week due date, and I'm not even going to be in my office, I'm not going to check my queue this Friday. So you're welcome to turn it in by this Friday, but don't expect any feedback from me, because I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be jumping into the queue in Blackboard. But I will the following week, which still gives you, more time to get the assignment done. That gives you, a week from this Friday, means you've got Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then Tuesday morning it's due. So you've got several days. That gives me several days to give you feedback, gives you several days to make corrections if needed. So there will be no extra points. Like if you turn this in early, don't expect extra points. You're already getting 250 points on this assignment. So if you send me an email asking about why you didn't get your extra points, I'm going to delete that email, because that's a question that I don't want to have to answer, because I just answered that question. So listen, I want to wish you the very best success in your capstone assignment, and I want to encourage you to spend a little time. This is not going to be a difficult assignment for most of you. Now, if you're struggling in the course, then this is the assignment where you're going to have to put in a little extra effort, because it's a lot of points. And I'll be happy to answer any questions if you want to post them in the Zoom chat right now, but I'm wrapping it up. And I would say also that there are an additional 200 points coming your way for class participation. Most of you have done a fantastic job this semester posting your comments as we go through the course, and so there should be no real problems. Now, if you haven't posted any comments and you're missing several assignments, you're going to get a big deduction on class participation. So expect that. And if you're one of those students who's missed more than 2 assignments, I'm going to deduct the class participation, and then I'm going to tell you, if you want to contest that, send me screenshots of all the comments you've made throughout the semester. So that's something I announced early on. But most of you'll just get the 200 points because you've done the assignments as we've gone along, and you've not missed any major things, and your capstone will be a good indicator as well of how much you learned this semester. So I hope this course has been helpful and productive for you. I believe it can be tremendously valuable for the rest of your life in terms of learning how to manage money in a responsible and effective way. So becoming a millionaire by age 50 is the big idea, the big goal, and I know you can do it. It's not even that hard if you just do the things that you learned to do this semester. Like that perfect investment, and learning those 4 investment strategies, and paying attention to your expenses, and paying attention to your credit, and being smart about how you pay off credit with the goal of being debt free. those are the basic things. And if you think through the 3 laws of personal finance and go back and review those 3 laws of personal finance, they set the table. They're the big ideas inside the big idea. And I want to wish you the very best. I wish we could have been able to be together in class, but maybe I'll get to meet you on campus next semester. I hope we can stay in touch. Always feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn, Jim Munchback. Munchback has an H on the end. I'd love to connect. LinkedIn is my favorite social media. So that's about it for now. I'm going to check comments and see if we've got any questions. I don't see any questions. I'll be looking for questions and comments on the Facebook video and the YouTube video, but I'm not in those platforms at the moment. So I'm going to wrap it up. It's 10:35 a.m. and this is the final lesson, the final Zoom meeting for our course in personal finance for the summer session of 2021. So this is me signing off, but I'll still be around if you need help. If you have questions, if I need to do another tutorial video along the way, I'll be happy to do that. But I will be on vacation next week. So I'll see you soon. Take care and have a great week. Good luck on your capstone assignment.